Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. Republican Rep. Nunes said Dems are blocking release of Schiff memo by packing it full of source methods. Fox News yesterday, Sunday, with Maria Bartiromo did a interview with Representative Nunes. So let's take a listen to what Nunes had to say on this interview.
And we kick it off now with the abuse of power at the top of the FBI. Dueling memos dividing Washington this weekend as the White House declines the request to release a Democratic counter memo to a GOP document alleging surveillance abuses at the FBI and the Department of Justice. The Republican lawmaker behind the initial memo is now setting his sights on the State Department as part of his ongoing investigation of corruption in our top law enforcement agencies continues. That lawmaker joins me right now, House Intel Committee Chairman Dev.
You know, I hate to do ad hominem attacks, but Schiff looks suspect. Back to the interview.
Nunes. Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's great to be with you.
So let me kick it off with that and the fact that the White House has denied the request to release Adam Schiff's memo. What can you tell us about that memo? You've seen it. What do we need to understand about this? Well,
first off, this was not a surprise. So this was after they had accused the Republicans of putting sources and methods into our memo. We actually did not. We just put in what we thought the American people needed to know. It was clear from the development of the Democratic memo from the very beginning that they packed it full of sources and methods. Now, for the viewers out there, what are sources and methods? We don't want to give up.
I said it a couple weeks ago. I actually said that the Democrats was going to pull this. They were when I first heard they're going to bring out their own memo to counter Nunes's memo. I predicted that they were going to pack it full of classified information and sensitive information, so that Trump would have to reject the memo. I knew they were going to do this so they can throw it back on Trump and be like, see what you did here? You rejected the memo. I know the playbook. I knew they were going to do it. But back to the interview.
The way that our intelligence committee recruits sources, the methods that they may use to recruit sources. So these are things that don't need to be made public. However, the Democrats knew this. They packed their memo full of sources and methods. Now, on Friday night, we received a letter back from the White House. The White House did not deny the release of the Democrats' memo. What they did is they said, look, you need to make some redactions and some technical corrections here, and we will get it out right away. Now, from that point, we've heard nothing but crickets. The Democrats have been on TV all weekend long. Their memo is sitting at the House Intelligence Committee down at the bottom of the Capitol, waiting to be redacted. If they really wanted to get it out, they'd be down there all day yesterday, redacting it, getting it back over to the White House so that the public could know what.
And I agree. If they really wanted that memo out, they would have been working on it and send it back to the president. Because Trump never said that he was just going to flat out not release it. He just wanted them to get rid of the sensitive information, as Nunes pointed out.
In it. So this is nothing but politics.
And within the Democratic memo, there was no rejection of the point of your memo, which was, bottom line, the FBI used government resources to spy on a political enemy.
Well, right. We actually want the Democratic memo out. We think it's ridiculous on the face of it. We think it's very political about how they attack myself. They attack Chairman Gowdy. They turn Carter Page into some super secret Russian spy. They talk about how Christopher Steele is a really, really good source when we know that he lied to the FBI.
I mean, Steele is already being brought up. They put in, what is it called? A recommendation for Steele to be brought up on charges to the DOJ, but the DOJ still haven't responded yet.
So we want this out. We don't know why they're not in this weekend redacting it so that we can get it back to the White House so the president can declassify it.
Right, but they did not deny the omission of information that has taken place here. Basically, FBI goes to the FISA court and presents this so-called dossier of unverified information about Donald Trump during an election, and they do not tell the FISA court that the dossier was actually paid for by Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, that's the crux of our argument. Why are we going through all this? Well, phase one of our investigation was to look at the FISA abuse. So we very simply said, look, the court didn't know that the Democrats paid for this. Now, remember, this is an investigation into the other campaign. I would think a judge would need to know that. They also omitted the fact, after they discovered that Christopher Steele went and talked to multiple media outlets, and that they had used some of those media outlets, some of the stories, to cooperate.
Not only that, but Steele talked to Hillary Clinton, people that work for Hillary Clinton. He got a lot of his information from people that work with Hillary Clinton. The name Blumenthal comes up time and time again. He's basically Hillary's right-hand man. He's the one that was doing all the dirt over there, and he the one that did all the dirt over there in Libya. He the one that got Hillary to actually go after Gaddafi, so he can set up all types of contracts over there and make money over there in Libya.
The dossier, you would think somehow someone somewhere would say, hey, we better go tell the FISA court this. They didn't do it the first time. They didn't do it the second time. They didn't do it the third time. In fact, they didn't even do it the fourth time. So a full year, they were spying on an American citizen who was affiliated with the Trump campaign, and the court didn't know any of that for 4 times in a row.
In terms of their surveillance, did they also capture Steve Bannon and other people within the Trump campaign?
Well, look, I mean, we know that Carter Page, we know now because it's been declassified, we know that anyone who was talking to Carter Page was likely picked up by authorities. Now, that would include, remember, Carter Page has been a suspect of Congress. We have interviewed him. I think the Senate has interviewed him. So this is scary stuff, right? I mean, this would...
They use Carter Page to spy on everyone in Trump's... that was with Trump's team. They used Carter Page to spy on everyone, and that's basically what that was all about. Carter Page was a useful idiot, I believe, in this whole thing.
Mean that they would have congressional communications from our branch of government. They would have anybody that he was talking to in the White House. And look, let's just... You know, Carter Page is an interesting individual, okay? But he also was a guy who cooperated with the FBI back in 2013. They used him in a court case to say the Russians actually didn't even want to recruit Carter Page. But look, I don't agree with Carter Page on very much, but the guy shouldn't have his emails or phone calls listened to and eavesdropped into. Give
us the new information that you're seeking. You have asked the FISA court for what? What are you seeking now, Congressman?
Well, one of the things this past week that we sent a letter to the FISA court asking for the transcripts of the 4 appearances before the FISA court. So as the FISA court approved the warrant, we want to know what transpired. So we sent a letter to the court this week asking for those transcripts so that we can make at least we can have those in a classified setting, and if there's anything we would need to make public or need to make other members of Congress aware, we would.
People want to know where this is all leading, Congressman. Now, I want to ask you about the Graham-Grassley memo, because that memo from Lindsey Graham...
this is a totally separate memo from Lindsey Graham and Grassley, and, you know, I don't fool with Graham. He's a rhino. I don't trust Graham. He's always for war. But for some reason, in this instance, he's actually Graham is actually doing the right thing.
And Chuck Grassley, that memo confirms everything basically in your memo, but it also recommends charges. Tell us about those charges that this memo is recommending. Charges against the British spy Christopher Steele.
Yeah, so it's pretty clear. The good thing about the Grassley-Graham memo, not only is it was actually a letter, it was a criminal referral to justice. It was written before our memo was put together. So essentially what it does is it corroborates what we had said, and it goes further than that, and it really points out how Christopher Steele lied to the FBI.
Lied, straight lied.
It is a clear-cut case. Christopher Steele lied to the FBI, and I can't for the life of me know, when you have the House who said that, hey, this guy lied to the FBI, and you have the Senate who said this guy lied to the FBI, Christopher Steele, what is the Justice Department doing? Where is the prosecution of Christopher Steele? This is a slam dunk.
This is another reason why Jeff Sessions has to go. Jeff Sessions isn't prosecuting anybody. He's not going after anybody. No one in the Department of Justice is going after anybody that has anything to do with this stuff. And I don't understand how they can sit there, lie to the FBI, make false accusations, and nothing happens. Where is Jeff Sessions? He's MIA. Unless you got something unless you got marijuana or something, he'll come after you for that.
Case, they have all the documents, and this is what makes people really wonder about having confidence that the DOJ and FBI are playing this straight up.
So let me know what y'all think. It's in that Democratic memo. What do you think is in that memo? I think it's really nothing. I think they just put this stuff together and try to catch Trump up into something. But let me know what you think. What do you think is in that memo? Leave your comments below, and hit that like button, and check out DEMOCREPUBLIX.com for the latest in news. Till next time, God bless.
We living on really in nightmare. Watch out for the brother, watch out for the brother.